Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to this, your March 15th through March 31st reading and predictions. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for trusting and clicking on this video. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. I have a little favor to ask. I am this close to being monetized after 2 full years of making these videos for everyone twice a month. But I need a few more watch hours. So please watch this video all the way through until the end and help me out with my watch hours. Also, at the very end of this video, I do have an opportunity for you to be able to pose your yes/no questions. We all walk through life every single day asking ourselves questions that require a yes or a no answer. Is he the right one for me? Is she the right one for me? Do I move into this new house? Do I put the offer in on that new house? Do I take the job on the other side of the country? Okay. So, and some of your questions may not be quite that earth shattering of debating whether to move across the country or not, but who knows, Aquarius? So, at the end, prepare a question and let's see what comes up for you. I'm just going to pull up my notes from your last reading, and your last reading covered the time frame from March 1st through March 15th. Ah, whew, that was a powerful reading for you. You had to release some old belief systems. You had the Hierophant come up, and you were being asked by the cards to seriously dive into hermit work. Now, hermit work is about withdrawing from society, going within, and really tapping into who you are. Who you are and what you want, Aquarius. The last card in your reading for the beginning of March through till now was the Magician, one of my favorite cards. Magician is all about our realization of how powerful we really are and the fact that we have the ability and capacity to be able to manifest in our own lives. So let's dive in. First cards we're going to pull here are cards of where you are at now here in the middle of March. Queen of Autumn. Queen of Autumn corresponds to the Queen of Pentacles, indicating that you're feeling rather abundant at this time. The Queen of Pentacles is, of course, the richest queen in the deck. Let's see. I'm just going to uncross my legs here. My toes are falling asleep. Yes, so the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Autumn, she is the richest queen in the deck. But how did she become the richest queen in the deck? She continued to put one foot in front of the other to work towards exactly what she wanted to achieve, which was having a beautiful life, having enough abundance in her life. And remember, abundance is not just about finances, Aquarius. Abundance is not just about dinero. Abundance is about the family that we have around us, the friends that we have around us, the roofs that we have over our heads, even if the roof happens to be, in my personal case, at this present time, an RV. It doesn't matter. Part of the message of the Queen of Pentacles as well is make sure that you're practicing gratitude for what you do have, because when the universe hears that you are absolutely grateful for what you have, the universe will bring you more of the good stuff. The other card that you have here is also from the Suit of Pentacles, and it is the Six of Autumn, also known as the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is the card that I like to call the philanthropic card or the karma card. This is the card of if you're feeling a little bit pinched right now, feeling like you don't have enough, ask for help. And if you're feeling like you've got so much abundance in your life, whether that be financial abundance or an abundance of time, maybe go out and volunteer, help out. This is about give and take. This is about what you put out there, you get back. Okay. So it's not just about what you put out there financially, it's also about what you put out there personality wise, friendship. A smile goes a long way. When you're walking down the street, smiling at someone is a beautiful way to give back. All of these things, Aquarius, this is what you're being called upon to put out into the world right now. Let's see what you are focusing on. Where are we going for your focus? I'm getting called to two different decks. Where are we going? Let's go over here. What are you focusing on? Now, remember, the focus cards is where we are putting our thoughts in order to try and manifest something new. I shouldn't say in order to try, because we can manifest it. Okay. There we go. All right. So we do have some cards coming in here in your focus, Aquarius, that have a connotation that they might not be the most positive cards. But when you recognize that part of the reason that you might not be manifesting this Queen of Pentacles at this time, and you may have manifested more of the I need rather than I have the ability to give with the Six of Autumn, is because you're caught up in your mind at this time. Look at the character on this card. He's so caught up in the intellect of his mind that he's having difficulty making decisions that are in his own highest interest. You also have the King of Swords coming out. Now, the King of Swords is about control. Control what? The intellect and the mind. When we try to control situations that are not necessarily within our control, like when I'm talking about, we have the ability to manifest our beautiful lives. But there's also an acceptance there that there are certain aspects that we don't have control over. And so when we sit in acceptance of that and then find workarounds, those things in order to be able to manifest, it becomes beautiful. And there's a synchronistic relationship there when we understand that. But when we try and control everything, that doesn't work for us, Aquarius. Now, there was an indication in the reading that I did for you March 1st through March 15th that you were doing Hierophant work. Hierophant work, let me remind you again, is about looking at the institutions in our lives, educational institutions, religious institutions, societal institutions, familial institutions, and determining what no longer resonated for us. What belief systems were we raised with that are no longer resonating for us? The problem with doing some Hierophant work is it brings us into this place of wanting to control that which is outside of our control. This is a big one here, Aquarius. I'm getting to it. We have control over ourselves. We can control what we think, what we do, and how we feel. The work of the Hierophant is the recognition that we have control over how we think, how we feel, what we do. What we don't have control over is other people and those institutions. So just because we have awakened to the fact that a belief system in a particular institution, a belief system that our family has held for a long time, a belief system from a religious institution, from an educational institution, just because we've awakened and said, that's no longer working for me, does not mean that we can change that whole institution and get them to realize that their belief system really isn't working for the collective anymore. We have control over ourselves. That's what this king is saying. We have control over ourselves. We have control over our own mind. We have control over our own thoughts. But we don't have control over them, they, the institutions, right? And so that's what you're focusing on right now, Aquarius, is you've done the Hierophant work earlier this month. You went deep within with the Hermit earlier this month. You've awakened to your inner magician and you want to get out there and share that. And you want to scream it from the rooftops and you want everyone else to wake up and realize this. But what you're doing is you're forcing other people to try and see things from your perspective. And that's just not going to work. That is making you crazy in your mind and making you try and control things that are not within your control. And this is another big lesson. And that big lesson is you only have control over yourself. When you learn that lesson, it's huge. What's the best way for you to learn the lesson? It's the next card in what you're focusing on, and it is the slowing down card. This card is represented with a tortoise just wandering along. Remember the story of the tortoise and the hare? Who wins the race? Slow and steady wins the race. Slow down, Aquarius. I recognize where you are at right now. Not only because I've experienced it more than once in my life, but also because I too am an Aquarius. And so I'm learning this on a bigger level right now as well, right alongside you guys. When we recognize we have the power and the ability, we are the magician to control ourselves, but we can't control what's outside of ourselves. That's a big lesson. It's huge. And then the magician really comes into play. But the best way to do that is to slow down and recognize we can't change other people. The other people that we are caught up in our minds and making ourselves crazy with, trying to control and trying to wake them up right now, they have to do their own Hierophant work. You've done your Hierophant work. They have to do their Hierophant work. Let's pull cards for your difficult influences and challenges right now. Difficult influences and challenges for Aquarius. Oh, we have the Page of Swords coming out. Intellectual, logical, somewhat naive. All right. And we have one more card that's sticking out here, so we're going to pull that one out. Okay. All right, so we do have the Page of Swords here. Page of Swords is about some changes happening, and it's about us being a little bit naive. It's it's about us not having all the answers, Aquarius. And that's okay. And that's in your difficult influences. Also in your difficult influences, Aquarius, you have two major arcana cards. You have the Judgment and you have the Moon. Let's do the Moon first. The Moon is about the realization that not everything is as it seems. There's a dark side and a light side, so the Moon is seeking balance. The Moon is about cycles and phases. And we are reminded that part of what we're going through, this lesson that we're currently learning, is a cycle or a phase. But the Moon also, because she has a dark side, may indicate that something is still being hidden from us. We don't like that. Trust me, as Aquarians, we hate it when something is being hidden from us. And so we bump up against that. And this is in your difficult influences, indicating that there is something that is being hidden from us. What's being hidden from us? Oh, yeah. That which we cannot control. We're not always going to have all of the answers, Aquarius. We can't control everything. What we can control is ourselves. And then finally, you have the Judgment card in your difficult influences. Judgment card is verging near the end of the major arcana of the tarot. The Judgment card is about us judging ourselves. But there's a caveat. We do not want to judge ourselves too harshly, of course. But we do need to judge ourselves. And the Judgment card in some of the other decks that I have is described as doing almost like a life review. It is about doing a review of the most recent soul lesson. Based on the cards that you've had in the month of March, Aquarius, with the Hierophant, the Hermit, and the Magician coming out at the beginning of March, and now these cards coming out in this big lesson about the control and that we can't wake everybody else up. They have to do it in their own time, the same way that you did. The Judgment card coming up in your difficult influences is a reminder of you not to judge others for where they are at on their journey of awakening. The only person that you can judge is yourself. And in so doing, you can deep dive back into that Hierophant work and say, okay, this is working for me. I'm going to bring this forward with this soul lesson. Okay, that didn't work for me. I'm going to, going into this place of mind and being caught all up in my intellect. That didn't work for me. I'm going to sink more deeply into my heart center. These are the types of things that we're going to look at with the Judgment card. It is in your difficult influences, so it's work that you don't necessarily want to do, but you need to do, Aquarius. All right, messages from the universe at this time. Fell back in. All right, so we do have 2 messages from the universe. We have express your feelings. And that's what I was just saying. Yeah. So this is from the Suit of Swords. This is from the Suit of Swords. This is from the Suit of Swords. You have a lot of cards here from the Suit of Swords. You also have these pentacles up at the front at the very beginning. With the Queen of Pentacles, you're working towards manifesting this, but then you're getting bumped into by these swords. The swords is about going into the intellect. It's about going into the mind. And really, what you need to be doing at this time is sinking into your heart. And again, with this Moon card here, remember what I said, the moon has a dark side and a light side. Well, guess what? When we're caught up in our mind, when we're caught up in our intellect, when we're caught up in our thoughts, then absolutely there are a bunch of things that are being hidden from us. Because really, when we sink into our heart center, when we sink into our intuition, that's where we have our answers. So express your feelings, sink deeply into your heart center, and focus on the positive, Aquarius. As you move through the latter half of March, focus on the positive. All right, moving into your unexpected. Unexpected. You have the Hanged Man coming out in unexpected. I love it. Is there anything else? Yep, there's one more card that's jumped out here. And another one. All right, so we have 3 cards out. 2 of them landed face down. But the first card that jumped out for your unexpected is the Hanged Man. The Hangman is about being able to see things from a different perspective. And that is exactly what I've been saying here with this control card. You need to see things from a different perspective. You need to recognize that when you let go of control, you actually have more control. See things from a different perspective. You have the Queen of Swords, your second queen in your reading, Queen of Swords. Again, she is about intellect, but she brings the soft side of the intellect. The King of Swords over here is bringing up the harsh side, the control side, wanting to control everything around him. The Queen of Swords is the feminine, excuse me, represents the feminine side of making decisions from a place of intellect. Do you know what she does that the king doesn't do? She slows down when she makes her decisions. And finally, in your unexpected, you do have the Three of Cups. Now, as I mentioned, you have the moon in your difficult influences, indicating that you may be bumping into the fact that what you're currently experiencing is a phase or a stage. You're also kind of not seeing the dark side of the moon, or you are seeing the dark side of the moon and you need to be drawn back out into the light side of the moon. Whatever the case is for you, Aquarius, the moon is about phases and the recognition that we are all in phases and stages. And then you got the Three of Cups in your unexpected. Three of Cups is also about phases and cycles. It is also about celebration. And it's about moving into a stage or a phase of celebration. This is about you celebrating your wins. How do you celebrate your wins? You sit in judgment of yourself. Harsh judgment, of course. But you sit in judgment of self going, this worked for me. This was a huge win. I'm taking that one with me. I'm sitting in judgment of myself. You know what? Doing that really didn't work for me. I'm releasing that. And that can move you into a place of celebration, camaraderie. All right. Let's move into your final overall outcome. Where are we going for final overall outcome? I saw a flash of this particular deck. Final general overall outcome for Aquarius, please. And then we will move into your yes/no question. All right, where is your card, Aquarius? Your final general overall outcome. There's one card that's come out and two more. Let's take a look. You have the Ace of Wands, the Lover, and the Ten of Wands. All right. Ten of Wands is about carrying around a burden. Have you been carrying around a burden, Aquarius? Yes, since you started doing the Hierophant work and recognizing that some of what's going on in certain institutions, some belief systems that we have been forced into, are no longer working for us. We then stepped up and stepped into the role of, oh my goodness, we've had this huge awakening to the realization that these institutions have been trying to minimize us and make us feel small and make us feel like we are being born for the sole purpose of serving the higher ups. And when we wake up to the realization that we don't have to do that anymore, we move into that place of wanting to tell everyone else. But by wanting to tell everyone else and trying to force everyone else to change and to see it from our perspective, what we're actually doing is putting a burden on ourselves, a burden that's not ours to carry. It's not ours to bear. It's not our burden. So let go of that and move into the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is about new beginnings. It's about new beginnings with the element of fire, thus taking action into this new beginning. When you release this other stuff, when you go into the Hangman, you see things from a different perspective. When you release control, when you complete the work of the Judgment card, you're going to level up on soul lessons, Aquarius, and move into this Ace of Wands. Moving into a new creative endeavor. It is going to require action because it's ruled by the suit of fire. Suit of fire is about taking action, but it is absolutely, you are on the verge of stepping into a new beginning, and then you have the Lovers. Now, the Lovers card, Aquarius, if you are already in a committed romantic relationship, the Lovers card is indicating that as you are leveling up, as you're changing and shifting, you're shifting the dynamics in your relationship to something that is better. If you are single and seeking, Aquarius, the Lover's card is indicating that what you are seeking to manifest is right there on the horizon. It's almost there. And that may be why you have the Ace of Wands right next to it. It's a new beginning. For those of you who are not seeking a new romantic relationship with this Lover's card, it's about partnerships as well. And it may indicate a new partnership that is beneficial going back all the way to this Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Really, this was a little bit of a complicated reading for you, Aquarius. I do appreciate each one of you. If you do have any questions or want clarification, by all means, reach out. My email address is down below. Let's move into your yes/no questions. And if this reading did resonate for you, please hit that like button. It really does help a lot. All right, Aquarius. Yes or no? Yes or no? Ask your question. You may wish to close your eyes. Ask your question several times in your mind or out loud. And for the cards, please, we require one yes or no answer for Aquarius. We're just going to mix them up until one card pops out. And there we go. All right, Aquarius. In response to your yes/no question, your answer is not the right time. Not the right time. All right. All right, Aquarius, thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you will allow me the honor of being able to do your next reading for you at the beginning of April. Take care, everyone.